Hello everybody and welcome to the franchise. This is Summer Reese here. Let's talk about Crown Jewel 2024. Roman Reigns, the Bloodline, Jimmy and Jay versus Solo and the Bloodline 2.0. Let's talk about it. So again, we're back starting with Roman Reigns having to build himself up. And I know some people are going to critique this match, the botches that happen and whatnot, when we're talking about in terms of the in-ring ability. I know it could have been better. However, for me personally, this was still my match of the night because it wasn't a horrible match in ring, of course. And we understand how the Bloodline works their matches. They're slow, they build up until tension rises. This is a story-driven feud, and it's going to be a story-driven match. And I think what people are understanding is that this is not the end for Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns taking this pin to Solo Sikoa. Roman Reigns, the way that he was portrayed in this match does not make him look like a jobber. Roman Reigns did come out first, yes. Jey Uso came out, he got a big pop, yes. It wasn't bigger than Roman Reigns' pop, but it was still a big pop. And I understand that we're going through the emotions and the hurdle of seeing Roman Reigns digress, but that is the point of this story. That is the narrative trying to get driven home here, is that Roman Reigns is going to rebuild himself up. We cannot expect this story to be done in a week, in 2 days. This is where long-term storytelling works. It's with the Bloodline storytelling. I understand sometimes it gets boring, it gets frustrating because we're in the social media age where everything comes like this, but we have to understand that this storyline is going to take time to blend. Everything's done for a purpose, everything's done for a reason. These results are not going to be the end all be all, and Roman Reigns is still the biggest draw on the card. It is not over for the head of the table, but we have to understand is that just because Solo Sikoa pinned Roman Reigns does not mean that Roman Reigns is going to be pushed down below her, right? This is how it's supposed to go. That Roman Reigns has to end up leading Jimmy and Jay, finding some way for them to fall back in line. I know that sounds crazy because of how over Jay is, but the reason, and this was put out by Michael Cole and Corey Graves a lot, is that the reason on why the Bloodline 2.0 won in terms of kayfabe is because of how good their coordination was. They were listening to Solo. They were listening to calls. They were working as a team. When the ref wasn't looking, they were getting hits in. They were working as a unity. There was times, even though he's the most over babyface on Monday Night Raw right now, there were times where Jay just was being selfish. Jay in this match was more selfish than Roman Reigns. And you can argue that Solo Sikoa is acting the way that he's acting and that even Jey Uso did what he did because of Roman Reigns. This is going to be a complete rebrand for the head of the table because he's going to go from being a manipulative liar and an untrustworthy leader to an honorable tribal chief who can lead his people without belittling them, who can lead his people to the promised land without making them look weak, without trying to bash them for their silly mistakes or whatnot. We're going to enter into a completely different era of Roman Reigns. We're going to see a lot of character development from him. We're going to see him go from being portrayed as weak to being portrayed as strong. Again, if we've been keeping up with the storyline, we understand that Roman Reigns, especially throughout 2023, he got weaker as time progressed. At first, we saw Roman Reigns be able to take on these one-on-one matches, fight Brock Lesnar or whatnot. And we slowly saw as he started depending more on Jay and Jimmy, he got weaker. He needed help during certain fights that we just thought he didn't need help in. Now, obviously, some of this was just bad booking, but you can retcon that if you're Triple H, right? Because he's good at that. So, again, we saw Roman progressively get weaker as he depended on more help from the Bloodline. Now we're bringing it back in, and we're seeing that Roman is slowly building himself up to be a big dominant threat again. He just isn't winning a 1v3, a 1v4. It's just not happening. And Roman Reigns probably, and this is how I expect him to do it, that he probably just goes through each member of Bloodline 2.0 and builds his way up through there while The Rock is his final boss. He's already pinned Solo once. Let's not act like he hasn't pinned Solo once. He pinned Solo at Bad Blood. Again, we got to stop acting like Roman is done. Roman is not done. Okay? Roman still has a long way to go. We cannot sit here and try to act like Roman isn't the biggest draw in the company. He's still not the face of the brand. Come on. Roman Reigns is still Roman Reigns. This loss did not hurt him because he's done too much and he will do a lot more, and we still have to build to Rock Roman. They aren't going to, I don't know who's going to win that match. I hope it's Roman, but they aren't going to have Roman build up to fight The Rock and make him look weak. Because he's going to go through Solo. He's going to go through the Tongans easily. I think that might be the Usos' job. He's going to go through Jacob Fatu. And the final boss will be the final boss. DJ, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Thank you for watching the franchise NET. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe for more sports takes and opinions.